Hey, it's your favorite YouTube guy, and I seen some things where they were talking about destroying monuments and destroying Mount Rushmore because it was racist and this and stuff like that. And so I decided I wanted to tell you a little story about a race in American history. I never thought I would hear myself say the old cliche that you young ones don't have a clue of what you're doing. And the old saying, be careful of what you wish for because you might just get it.
You didn't sign anything with Sugar, right?
I'm going to tell you a little story today. It's about a man that was going to save his country from ruin. This man started out on a soapbox giving speeches that got the people thinking in different ways than the old ways of doing things. After a while, he got attention from the politicians, so they asked him to run for office, and he got it. This man moved up the ladder quick because he gave the people free health care, free education, told them to give up their rights to bear arms, and he would protect them. So they did. And little by little, rights got took away. The people didn't even notice because everything was so good. When people started noticing that conservative people, their neighbors, were disappearing, a lot of liberals tried to hide them. But by that time, the police had full control. They would go in to their homes and hunt for them, search them out, and by this time, there was nothing any one of the people could do about it to stop it. They tore down monuments, pieces of history that they couldn't get back, and people was helpless. I'll tell you the name of the man here in a minute. When you let someone destroy history, good or bad, then we lose what has made us what we are today, a strong and independent nation. We can't destroy history because it offends us. We have to embrace it so it doesn't happen again. Oh yeah, the name of that man was Adolf Hitler. Think about that and let that sink in. He promised all those things too that Biden's promising, gun control and all that stuff. So did Chavez in Venezuela. So did the Viet Cong in the Vietnamese War. So did China. So is so many other. Russia did the same thing. All these countries have failed. All of them. Not a one of them has survived the Marxist socialism or communism. I know y'all wasn't around when the Cold War was out and Russia was our biggest enemy and we almost went to war with Russia. A lot of you don't know that a great man on a submarine saved a nuclear war between us and Russia. He put in the wrong code that the Soviet submarine had been hijacked, and the captain knew that if he put in the wrong code that it would launch the missile but leave it locked in its tube and explode and then blow up all the other missiles beside it. He done that to save the world. And that was back in communist Russia. And if, you know, the history we have to have, General Robert E. Lee, Ulysses S. Grant, Robert E. Lee said that he would give up every slave in the South if he could stop the war. But yet you tear down his statues. Abraham Lincoln said he hated to get rid of all the slaves because of the war. And you have to remember, Democrats such as Biden, they signed the law that made most black men go to prison nowadays. I mean, it's crazy to think about, but all these promises, rights are going to slowly be took away. We're going to trade these promises for rights. And when you do that, it starts a snowball effect and you go downhill. And it can't be stopped at a certain point. Well, this is the point where we need to stop it. We need to stop our rights from being took away and the government taking care of us. We need to take care of ourselves. So, just let all that information sink into your head on that. And don't think socialism and Marxism and communism is good. Those three types of government right there have killed more people in the world than all of the wars put together. All of them put together. When you have no protection against the government or the police or anything like that, the people don't, then we are susceptible to a tyrannical rule. And we cannot give up our rights just for free health care and free benefits and stuff like that. I mean, I know you think Biden's great and he's got a good plan and none of that stuff could ever happen to America, but trust me, it can. And it will if we let it. I don't think that if Biden gets in the White House, I don't think there's any good going to come about it. But I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first one on this video to say that I was wrong and sang his praises. But my favorite president was FDR. He was a Democrat. But he was a different kind of Democrat than today's Democrats. Democrats are known not to help the people, but hurt the people. When the Jim Crow laws, and I'm quoting Jesse Peterson, he said he liked it before while he lived in the Jim Crow laws, because both parents were in the house. It wasn't until the welfare system come along and they said, oh, here's you some money to raise the kids and here you go. You don't have to depend on that man. Kick that man out of there and go on about your business. And now the black people, most of them grow up without a dad. And I'm quoting Jesse Peterson. He's one of my favorite YouTube guys. And just think about this stuff, you know. This is Chris Palmer, and I'm signing off. I'm going to go to my little girl's cheerleading, so I'm going to record it, and I may put it on YouTube. I've got a new GoPro I'm going to try out tonight, so I'm interviewing Scotty Newman tomorrow sometime during the day. So look for it here on YouTube. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like and hit that bell so that you get notifications coming from my channel. And I got my press pass. That way when I go into big deal things, like if Biden gets in the president and he comes around Nashville somewhere in Tennessee, I can go and I can ask questions and stuff. And like I said, I'm not really a Republican. I'm not really a Democrat. I'm for the right thing to be done. So I consider myself a Republican, more conservative, because I don't see the values that the Democrats have. But in that case, you know, they could say that I was still a little bit liberal by some of the things, the way I think. But anyway, this is Chris Palmer signing out. I'm going to have a big day tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.